Hey, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Straight Up Show podcast, Music Monday. This is a brand new segment, and today is very special. And I'm not saying that any other Music Monday is not special, but today we have an artist who is very unique, so unique that I had to have her on a show because she does more than just music. She is an all-around Renaissance woman. I actually met her on Clubhouse, and she has graciously took the invitation to come on our show. So without further ado, help me welcome the one and only Kallee Brookes.
Hi, Calvin. I'm so glad we met on Clubhouse. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming on the show. Like I said, you are a phenomenal. And just when that tidbit of hearing her, you can already tell why I have her on our shows, because she has one of the most unique voices that I've heard, not only in media during all my years in media, but also who can learn to be, as I call it, chameleonic. You have a chameleonic voice to where you blend into anything that you sound. So that's why I have her on the show. So once again, thank you for coming on our show today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is actually my first podcast interview.
Wow. Thank you. Well, I am glad, I'm honored to be your first interview. So hopefully, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this is not her first interview, because she's going to have plenty of more to come, because this girl is definitely going places. So Kallee, let's just jump right into it. So Who is Kallee Brookes? Tell us about you.
Kallee Brookes. I am from Compton, California. I grew up there till I was 13. And now I live in the Hollywood Hills. I have been acting since I was 8. I've been writing music since I was 13. And I just recently got into voiceovers.
Right. And that's how we met. Is like we were actually in a voiceover group and some of y'all know that I come from a TV and radio background. So I'm trying to jump onto the voiceover stage, and lo and behold, here's this person that just stood out from the crowd and blew everybody away. And here's Kallee Brookes. So you're in California. I know that you said you did some acting. What kind of acting have you've done?
I've done a lot of stuff. When I was little, I was in a bunch of commercials. The first commercial I did was a Disneyland commercial, and that's how I got in the Screen Actors Guild. And since then, I've done Wendy's commercial, AT&T, Axe body spray. I've done co-stars. I was in How I Met Your Mother, NCIS, and just recently I had some large guest star roles in 911 on Fox and Lucifer on Netflix. That was in 2019. And I haven't done so much acting because of 2020, but that gave me the opportunity to focus on my music.
Yeah, and like I said, just to see that you can do acting and music, to me, that's phenomenal in itself, because some people just dip their toe in music and kind of do okay. But you put your whole foot in, and you've been doing great. And I got a chance to listen to her music outside the interview, and I was just driving through my car, bumping it. I'm like, wow, this girl is definitely universal. And I think that's the big key about music, is that you have to be universal. So we're going to talk more with Kallee Brookes, kind of dig in, go deep dive, and see who is she really, and what kind of music does she do. So be sure you stay tuned on the other side of the break with more of Kallee Brookes on the Music Monday here in Straight Up Show podcast. Stay tuned.
These hoes got shoes up on their lips, the way they keep running their mouth. Yeah. Can't keep my name out their mouth. Yeah. What is this even about? Whoa. Since I saw that pic, you just posted. Why did you wear that shit out? Bitch, I don't move with emotions. Haven't you figured it out? Yeah. Baby, I ain't gon' leave. Yeah. I'ma be here for a sec. Yeah. Bitch, I don't want your respect. Blood, I went off in the set. These bitches be dirty and desperate. Yeah, I got money, but niggas move funny, so I just go creep with a weapon. Yep. And I'm forever gon' rep for the section. Yeah, I'm forever gon' rep for the section. Yeah, I told y'all niggas I was a good investment. I showed y'all niggas I was a good investment. Y'all better learn your lesson. Bitch, I pop off. I'm a wife, you get fucked, you get dropped off. Your pussy stink and it's burning just like hot sauce. Half a meal, switching lanes, getting top. You got flipped and your album straight flop. Big shot, you's a loco. If she said I ain't that bitch.
Tired of the same old boring clothes? Want to support your favorite podcast but don't know how? Well, you're in luck. The Straight Up Show podcast store is finally here. In our Teespring shop, you can find all the merch that tells the world you're keeping it straight up. From t-shirts to masks to even leggings, our store has you covered. Just visit straightupshowpodcast.com and click that merchandise button. That's STR the number 8 upshowpodcast.com.
And welcome back to the Straight Up Show Podcast, Music Monday, with our special guest, the phenomenal Kallee Brookes, all the way from Compton, California. Well, just in California now, but originally
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, there you go. Represent yourself. But if you cannot hear her voice right now, she is a unique voice. And Kallee, just to thank you once again for coming on our show. But to talk about your voice, it's very unique. And so, like I told you before, that my niece, she's 7 years old, and she gets made fun of a lot because people think that she's pretending to have a baby voice. She has that Michelle voice, like I like to call it. People, if you don't know who Michelle is, do your history, I guess. But, you know, she has that baby voice. When did you know that your voice was very unique, and what's been some struggles or some positivity that you have with your voice?
It wasn't until high school, when everyone else's voices was starting to develop and my voice was pretty much staying the same, is when I started to get teased a lot for it. And it was always the same recycled joke, like, have you been sucking on helium? And every time somebody says it, they think they're so clever and they're the first person to say it. And I'm like, you're not as unique as you think you are. But it was something that really bothered me. I couldn't talk to anyone without them calling attention to it. And it's still that way this day. But when I was younger, it was something that I really struggled with. And I actually was up for a lead in a movie role, and the director didn't end up casting me because he said that my voice was too distracting and the audience would be distracted. And he told me that I would never make it with this voice, and that I should fix that. So after that, I spent a year with a vocal coach, learning to use another lower register that I have. So now I can access this area of my voice easily. And it's good to have this in my wheelhouse, but I'm not ashamed of my voice anymore. Like, my voice is what makes me stand out. And when I rap, like, that's what makes me sound different than all the other girls, especially because a lot of girls, they try to sound like dudes when they're rapping. And I don't. Like, I'm a girly girl when I rap. And now that I do voiceovers, I recently got signed with Buckwald. And I just booked my first animation for Cartoon Network. It's going to be on Adult Swim. It's called Teenage Euthanasia, and it should be coming out this spring. I just am embracing my voice, and I feel lucky to have this voice now. And like, when I was on Zoom with Cartoon Network, they were just in awe of my voice, and they're like, the register, and that I can do all these different things with it. So I just feel really lucky to have it. But when I was younger, it was something that kind of plagued me.
And that kudos to you for landing that gig in Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. You know, y'all make sure y'all go support her and be on the lookout. What's the name of the show again? What's the name of it again?
Teenage Euthanasia.
Teenage Euthanasia. Make sure y'all go support that when it comes out. And we'll make sure we tag her and make sure y'all go actually support the girl, because the girl does have range. And when I say range, I told y'all, I listen to her music, and just to hear her go from singing to rapping, it's kind of like, I mean, honestly, I can't tell you who you're like because you're so different. How did you get into the music aspect of using your very unique voice? How did you jump into music?
Well, my dad is a saxophone player. His name's Mickey Bridges. You can actually look him up on his Spotify and Instagram. And he was always in the studios when I was younger. So I was in the studios with him. And I just started writing from being in the studio environment and just needing a way to be creative, because I'm not on set all the time. I actually still haven't booked my lead series regular yet. I'm still working on that. So I've done a lot of commercials, and it would be like booking a guest star here and there. And I just found music was a way that I could stay productive and creative and still feel fulfilled within that time of not booking acting jobs. And it was something that I did for fun at first. But then I just started to get better and better and better at it, to the point where people were like, this could be on the radio. But it took a lot of practice. Like, my early music was not good. And I've just recently started to tap into who I am as a music artist.
And I just met your engineer not too long ago, and I was like,
Yes.
Wait a minute, y'all two are putting that together. I'm
Yes.
telling you, these two, their music is dope. And like I said, I listened to your stuff in the radio last night on my car, and I was like, man, I'm gonna bump this up a little bit. This guy, whoever's doing this, is really
Come say
unique.
hi, Will.
All
This is
right,
Will Hecht. He's my engineer. He helps me write. He records all of my voiceover. He records all my music, and he raps as well.
all right. Will, introduce yourself right quick.
Hey, what's up, man? My name's Will. Man, just been rocking with this chick ever since I heard her voice in the studio. Like my producer mind was like, man, I gotta get this girl on wax. Gotta get this girl on wax. So ever since then, I've just been encouraging her to use that voice, and she writes bars like a grown man. So
Yeah, I see it. Like, okay, so just while I have you right, but what in your eyes, what makes Kallee Brookes so unique, and what makes you just flock to her to do music with her?
I mean, really, like it's her voice and her vocal tone. You can hear how high it is, but it's like it's in a register that's not annoying. It's like in a smooth place, which so it's like the Ellie Goulding sound. That's what everyone was going for all 2018, all that. Like, and they, female and artists, like they reach for that voice, but she has it naturally. So it's that mixed in with just her personality and kind of just like how tough and not masculine, but how she can hang with the guys, So with combined with her voice, combined with like the toughness, it just kind of adds like a shock factor that I don't hear in any female artist.
Yeah, and I'm glad he said that, because that's kind of what I took out of your music, is that this girl is tough, and to have him on the track with you and y'all just work together. I'm like, the way y'all made that work, and just to him be your engineer, that's exciting. And like I said, you are unique, and thank you, Will, for saying those things about Kallee at all. Make sure y'all go check their music out here. I know we have the links to it, but just to go back to what he said is that you're different from any other female artist. So I want to know can you explain your style, your rapping or your music? Are you more like a singer rapper, or what's your style of music? How can people actually just say your style is what?
Someone just recently asked me that, and I was like, trap pop. I feel like that's what I make, like trap pop. I have all these trap songs. I'm rapping, talking about trapping, because that's like a huge part of my life, and you could take from that whatever you take from that, whatever you think that means. And I just recently started singing. My friend Brandon Paddock, he wrote for Selena Gomez. He wrote my song Cards, and he's the one that encouraged me to sing and helped me find my vocal register and like capability to be able to do that, because I didn't know I could sing. And now I'm trying to combine the two. So my new music that I'm going to be releasing, it's going to be me rapping. Well, it's going to be me singing. And then I'll be rapping like an 8-12 bar verse for the breakdown, like bridge kind of. I'm trying to find a way to combine it all and make it all make sense in a different way.
Yeah, and you said Cards, which is like probably one of my favorite songs I've heard in a long time. And I was like, that's definitely one of those like, hey, this can be a top charted song, because that song is tight. It's lit. Like, seriously. Who would you say is some of your musical influences?
Well, my influences would have to be D'Antwoord was one of my early influences. Yolandi, she has a really high voice, and when I heard her, I was like, okay, well, if she's got a fan base, then people are probably going to want to listen to me rap too. But I would say that I'm like a combination of, I listen to Grimes, and then I'm like Left Eye, and then I'm like Madonna, and I'm like Lauryn Hill. I feel like if you combined all these people and they made a baby, it would be me. Like, these are my influences, these strong women with these special voices and these powerful messages.
Yeah, and one thing that you and I talked about previously is that, shockingly, we had an artist that we like together, and Sway Lee. And when I found that out, I was like, wait, did you just say Sway Lee? Like, no way, this girl just said Sway Lee.
He is currently my favorite artist. Whenever I'm like stuck trying to write, I just put on some of Sway songs. I know all of his lyrics. I've been listening to him since early Ray Sherman. I knew that he was going to break off and do his thing. I feel like he's the artist of our time right now. I feel like he's still underrated, but I feel like he's the Michael Jackson of our generation. Like you said, he's the hook king, and he really is. And he responds to my DMs, so.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, but no, like the reason why I say that, we said that it was Sway Lee. But then like going back to listen to your music, I hear a lot of like, wow, this girl, even if you don't even like her music, the hooks that she's on, it stands out. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, golly. Like this girl, like I think it was Rude, I think, and then what was another one?
Yep.
And I was just like, this girl has a killer hook. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it's crazy that she said Hey Lee, because like Sway Lee, your voice is so unique. And
Mhm.
with Sway Lee, for those who don't know, he's part of Ray Shrimmer. I'm not for sure are they together or not, but um her voice kind of resonates with that. It's like, it stands out. It just blends in with music and it's different. You know what I mean? And some
Mhm.
people, a lot of y'all, if y'all sleeping on Sway Lee, don't sleep on her, because like she kind of has that Sway Lee feel. And I love it. And I said
Okay.
before is that Sway Lee, he wrote for Beyonce that Formation song. That
Yeah.
was his song, but he gave it to Beyonce, which he won a Grammy for. So just giving y'all some music knowledge about Sway Lee. So it's been amazing to hear your music. And like, so when you write your music, who are you writing about? What's your message? Like, you said you want to be like Lauryn Hill. What's some of your message in your music?
I feel like when I'm writing, it's usually about whatever I'm going through in the moment. Like it's very like a present thing for me. And it'll either be about getting my heart broken because I feel like I'm always going through that, like failed relationships. It's just me and boys just don't work out. So I'm always writing about that. Writing about, trying to turn out straight girls because I like girls too, but I'm just always trying to convince some girl that doesn't like girls to be with me. Um, I'm talking about, trapping and how I came from nothing and now I live in the Hollywood Hills. And uh, gosh, I'm talking about getting loaded because I'm always lit when I'm in the studio. And it's just very like what's in my face and what I'm going through in the moment.
What are some struggles that you've had doing music, or even in voiceover? I know you said that people denied you of opportunity because your voice would be distracting, but what's some obstacles you have to face doing music or creating music?
I think one of the biggest struggles is it being a man's world. So I'm always dealing, whenever I go to the studio, there's always some other male rapper in there, and I'm trying to like compete for studio time. And uh, people don't really take you seriously until you're somebody. People don't really want to get behind you until you already have 50, 500,000 followers, or you're already signed. So I feel like just having people take me seriously. And people will want to work with me for a little bit, but if it's not bubbling and popping off as quickly as they think it's going to, then they kind of just throw me away. I feel like that's something that I've experienced over and over and over again, even with agents. Like you'll be booking for a little bit, but then a year goes by and you didn't book anything, so they drop you. Um, and just have to pick myself up again and start all over, but not really starting over because I have all the songs and I have all these things that I got to create, and now I have to go on to the next thing. But that's the main reason why I have a studio set up in my house now. Um, and I have my Newman TLM 102 mic, and I've got my Apollo Twin Duo, and I record in Logic. So now I don't have to wait for anybody to be like, yeah, you can come to the studio. Like I have my producer is actually here. His name is Swerk. He's here. We're gonna work after this. But now I just have everybody come to me, and it's all about me instead of me going to the studio and just sitting and hoping, waiting that I get my opportunity. Because I feel like that's what it is with acting. Like I'm always just waiting for the opportunity to do it, but I can't do anything about that. But I can take control of my music.
Wow. And that's what I like about you, even just talking to you these past couple weeks, is that I see the resiliency in you, and you don't take, shit from nobody.
No.
And I like it. And, we talked about, more personal stuff outside the show, but just to hear that story and how you've overcame it and like just you're persevering. I mean, you're from Compton anyway, but still like, how it is like to be a fighter and like not just get what you want. So I like that about you. And I'll say this to you. It's like, keep the grind up, because you don't want a microwave dinner. You want a full-fledged cooked meal. So I mean,
Right.
a microwave dinner takes about what, maybe 2 minutes to cook, right?
Yeah.
But if you work at it, you take out the ingredients, you cut up everything, you put it in a pot, you let it boil, you let it cook. 45 minutes later to an hour, you have a full cooked meal. So it's kind of like you want to keep building and grinding, because when you make it to the top, and I say this very, very, very heavily, when you make it to the top, they will come back and start kissing your ass, because like I said, my girl is on Adult Swim now. That's not even her stopping point. She's gonna go far, and she's gonna go far on this episode, because we have more with Kallee Brookes on the other side of the break. Make sure you stay tuned. It's the Music Monday on the Straight Up Show podcast. Stay tuned.
Gym in the rough, staying up tough, trying to hit my goals, making enough, chest puffed up, it's the art, my role. I'll make some bad deals on the way out, though. I played the fool until I break down. So watch where you shit when you eat, talk at your own damn show. Win on repeat, no sleep, trust earned it if I'm old. I played your whole team like a game out, doing exactly as I say now. 'Cause I lock my diamonds in gold in a light they die to behold, but my cards stay on the table. Yeah, my cards stay on the table.
Straight up means to be able to speak in a way that is straight up, to be honest, and to speak your truth.
Raw, uncut, you know what I mean? It's blunt, straight to the point. This what it is.
It's just a place to be open and honest, and that's what I appreciate most about it. And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other about things that are going on in the world, because it affects all of us.
Unfiltered, raw, with all the cursing that Calvin does.
Straight up is just being real, telling it like it is, being you.
Being solid, being who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what situation you're faced with. Right, this is who you are. It really speaks to me, saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Straight up.
All right, so we're back with the one and only Kallee Brookes, and I say one and only because I doubt this girl can be duplicated by any other artist in this world, because this girl is very different. And I'm not just saying it because I'm trying to like kiss up to her. I'm being serious, because when I do this show, it's not your typical artist. It's artists that just stand out from the rest. And I welcome any artist to bring their stuff to me, but this phenomenal artist is a Renaissance woman, and she can do it all: acting, singing, rapping. But I think what stands out for her is that she didn't take no for an answer. I think you took no as next opportunity, and next opportunity, because it's like, you had your own studio now and you're doing your own thing. So, you're very organic. Is that correct to say?
Yes, very much.
And you said that you write your own music, and tell us that struggle, just doing that coming up.
Well, it was just hard learning to, it was hard even learning how to ride the beat. Like, nobody really taught me anything. But that's not true. My best friend from when I was 13, he raps. And to me, he's the best rapper, unknown rapper alive. He's amazing. And he's the one that inspired me to rap. So he helped me figure out how to rhyme things and how to catch the beat. And but it was just difficult. It was difficult learning how to do it in the studio and learning how to do it in front of people. And it wasn't easy. It's not, acting came naturally to me. Rapping didn't. Rapping was something that I wanted to do, and I worked really, 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 really hard at it. But now when I step up to the mic, it's nothing, because I'm so seasoned. I put in what is it? They say you have to do 10,000 hours. Is that what it is? 100,000 hours or something? I feel like I've put in that time. So now when the beat comes on, I pretty much know what I want to talk about right away. Like that, it's a keyword that comes to me. Like, I just made a song called Trust Issues, because I dealt with some dude and I was like, oh no, I can't trust you. I can't fuck with you. So trust issues. And then I sent him some drunk texts and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a song called Drunk Text. And I'll just come up with a keyword and I'll build the hook off of that. And then the verses come. And sometimes I'll record line by line into the mic, like as a verse comes to me, I'll record like that. Or sometimes I'll just write the whole verse and I'll record the whole verse in the mic. But now the process is really easy and it happens quickly. But before, it would take me months to finish a song. But now I can finish a song in a night.
So basically, when you're doing producing music and you're creating music, you're beat first and lyrics second, right?
Yes.
And I like how you said, because a lot of things that you tell me when I ask you a question, I'm looking for a specific answer and you do it very well. Because one thing that makes you stand out is that you know how to ride a beat. And your song Rude, I was like, this girl is killing this beat because there was a different beat pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And you were able to write to it, and you was like, man, this girl can ride a beat. So just to hear you say that, I'm like, dang, man, she just answered the, like, wow. That's why we're here. You know what I mean? And
good. I mean, I'm hoping that I'm answering the questions. I feel like I'm giving you a lot of what you're not asking.
No, trust me.
There.
No, trust me. I'll definitely tell you if I'm looking for an answer. But no, you've went above and beyond already and just answered what I asked. So are there any kind of albums coming out or some singles? Like, what's in the future for Kallee Brookes?
Well, I have 2 albums now ready to go. And if I was signed, then maybe I would be focusing now on dropping some albums. But everyone that I talk to, it just doesn't really make sense for me to release all my music at once. I need to just stick with dropping singles and focusing on one song at a time, music video, artwork, and just building the whole life around this one song. And maybe I'll do that once a month this year. And then maybe I'll be able to drop an album after that next year. But right now I'm working on my new single, Fire. The beat is made by my producer, Swerk, engineered by my boy, Headache. He's very talented. And my roommate, Will Hecht, who raps, he helped me write that. And we're about to work on that next. And I have to get artwork done, and we're going to shoot a music video. And I think I'm going to drop it mid-February. Maybe it'll be a Valentine's Day release.
And maybe you can come on a show and tell us about it, or we'll definitely tag you in it, because this girl is phenomenal. I keep saying that because I mean it. And I think that with everything that I say on this show is that it's not just the music. You can have great music, but if you don't have a great presentation, that makes that really can kill or make a song come alive. And just even seeing your work outside of here, to see your presentation and your music videos and how like you just captivate all of music. And I was at Vita Loca. I was like, man, this is like, okay, I get that. And like I'm from the South, so the whole Cali swag, I've never experienced it. But just seeing you do all your work, I feel like I can see that Cali swag and see all of it. But that's why I think it's very creative that you just make that one song like explode, you know what I mean? And then keep going, because that way you're gonna get brand new fans, and you're gonna get brand new people to listen to you. And that's very smart. So with that being said, and I asked you this before, how has COVID-19 impacted your music or any of your work?
COVID-19, because of COVID-19, this has been the best year musically of my life. It forced me to be inside, to figure out how am I going to release my songs myself through TuneCore. How can I get in touch with these Spotify playlisters? How do I get them to put my music on their playlist? And I figured all of that out on my own. And I've been waiting for a manager and for a label to do all these things for me. And I had all these songs ready to go. And because of 2019, I actually sat down and I focused and I figured it out on my own. And I released 5 songs last year, and I have almost 1 million streams on Spotify, when the year before I had maybe 500 streams.
Man, look at that. See, people say that 2020 was a bad year. And like I said, me and you both said that it was probably the best year ever, for us.
It was the best year of my life. And it's so crazy to say that, but it really was. Like, I got locked in with my voiceover agent because there were so many voiceover auditions, because that industry didn't stop. So I got callbacks for Netflix. I got a callback with Nickelodeon, and I got to do a Zoom meeting with all of Nickelodeon, and they got to watch me do my callback. And then after that, I booked Cartoon Network.
Man, this is just, you got to give the girl her flowers, because this girl is, as I said, people are slowly recognizing who Kallee Brookes is. And sure enough, after you listen to this podcast, you would definitely know who she is, and you better follow her music. But
Yes.
let me ask you this. So it's 2021, and 2020 was great. You were able to put all this music out. You're going to do music, each month, step by step. Should things, and I know you're in California, things are closed down. So, I mean, pretty sure you can't go out and do much. But should you have to, uh, are we going to see any live performances or any kind of club venues that Kallee Brookes will be in 2021?
I don't know. I'm probably going to have to travel out to you to do that because everything's closed here.
Yeah, and I'm in Texas, so y'all can just come out and do whatever.
Okay, I'm coming to Texas. I'm going to have to come to Texas, Atlanta, Miami. I heard everything is still open there, but nothing is happening here in Cali.
Have you been doing at home practices at all? Like just trying to just get a feel for live entertainment or?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm in my room and my music is playing, I pick up whatever's available and I act like I'm rapping to the audience. And that's just something that I love to do. It's not even like I need to do this. I need to be ready to perform. I just am always ready to perform.
And I ask you that because you have a natural stage presence, and whether it be music or voiceover, I could only imagine when I interviewed for the NFL Network, I was scared because I was like it was virtual, so I was like, and I'm trying to do my whole radio voice and reporter voice, and I'm scared. The way you see me now, I was not like that in front of those people. So I can only imagine how you impress those in NFL. With the Nickelodeon and a Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. But I ask you this because if y'all follow her on social media, not only is she talented, but she's one of the funniest people I have ever met because your TikToks and your Instagrams. To me, it's straight up to the point. That's who she is. Everything she's telling you right now, that's the resemblance of her social media following. And it's impressive. So I definitely encourage y'all to follow her because she's going to be a mega star in this industry, whether it be music or acting. But I think that there's no stopping you.
Thank you. Yes. I want to combine it all. I mean, even when I do start to perform, I just see myself in between songs, telling jokes. I don't really know how it's going to go, but I just kind of want to turn it into a rap live performance, sing stand-up show. I want to make people laugh in between the songs and say outrageous shit that nobody's going to expect.
So your album's going to have skits in it. I know it.
Yeah, I have some things ready to go. Whenever I get to put together my album, I wanted to have some skits in there too.
Yeah, and when she puts her album together, we got to blow it up. So,
yes.
So I'm going to ask you this question. I ask everybody that comes on our show. Who is Kallee Brookes, and why should people listen to your music or even follow you? Why should people listen to your music?
Kallee Brookes. Well, you called me a chameleon. And I feel like that's what I am. I mean, I'm a Gemini, so I'm just so many different people all wrapped up into one. It's hard to say who I am because sometimes I don't even know. Every day is different. I wake up sad, I'm happy. I'm a hustler. Sometimes I don't want to do anything, and it's just people are like, well, you got to pick one. What, acting or music? I'm not picking anything. I want to do it all. I'm a writer too. I just finished writing a script. It's called Electric Pool Boy, and it's this funny dark comedy that I'm going to star in one day. Gosh, I mean, who am I? I'm everybody.
I like it. And so if I'm this person who's green, green, why should I listen to your music?
You should listen to my music. Gosh, that's a hard question, Calvin. You should listen to my music because it's good, because it's honest. A lot of these people have other people writing for them, and the person who's writing, it's their life that they're talking about, and the artist is trying to articulate and trying to regurgitate somebody else's lyrics. This is my life. This is what I'm going through, and it's real. I mean, my life is lit. It's crazy. Every day, like, I never know what is going to happen. And I talk about it in my songs. Like, my songs are sad, and they're going to make you feel that way. And then if you want to get turned up, if you want to feel like a bad bitch, I have songs for that too. Like, it's just like a large spectrum, and my songs are sexy. Like, I've got some songs that make you want to fuck. Like, it's just like all over the place. So I have a little bit of everything.
Hey, I need no more. You got me convinced already. Like, I don't need any more. I mean, that's it is. And I want to touch back to what you said. Like, I don't want to just do anything. And I really feel like this world makes you pick something. Like, no, like you have one life to live.
Yes.
Why not?
Not to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess you don't want to be, good at everything, but a master at nothing. I understand that. But maybe you could be a master at 4 or 5 different things. Life is long. If you decide it is, like, I don't live by the life is short. My life is long. I feel like I've already lived an entire lifetime in the little bit of life that I've already lived. So I've got 4 more lifetimes waiting ahead of me. And I'm not going to pick. I act, I make music, I write, and now I do voiceovers. And I work on all of these things every day. And I'm just going to get better and better and better.
And I'm like this: if Eddie Murphy can do it, if anybody else can do it, like, you can't. Right. I'm like, we still love him. We still love you. So it's like, man, this girl is gonna go places, and it's one of these things that where you can just look at her and not even hear her voice, and you can just tell that she's superstar all over your face. So I got that from you from the jump, and trust me, there are plenty of people. I was telling you, we was in the chat room with the girl that did the voice from Pokemon, the Ash Ketchum lady from Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, you see her, and I don't really see that superstar, but we know who she is. But with you, it's just like, bam, it's in your face, and then you hear your voice, and it's like, wow, this girl is already a star before she even knows it. So, I mean, I know you know it, but I want to know, do you know how phenomenal you are?
Sometimes.
No. Do you know how phenomenal you are?
Sometimes I know. Sometimes I don't know. The life of an artist is hard, and I get depressed, I get sad, but I never give up. That's the thing. Like, especially when I'm sad, then that's when I'm like, okay, let me go down in the studio and write about how I'm feeling, and then I'll make an amazing song out of it. So I use my emotions to create. But no, I don't feel amazing all the time. Sometimes I feel on top of the world, and sometimes I don't. But I always use how I'm feeling to create, and I turn it into something, and then that feels good for sure.
And thank you. You just passed the test, because that was one of those questions I was looking for. One of those answers I was looking for. You did it. Like, you came out, you were being straight up with me. So I like that you just said that, because that's what I was trying to fish out of you. So thank you so much. Before we go, how can people reach you and just learn to fall in love with you like we all have? How can they reach you on social media or any of your platforms? Promote yourself, please.
You can find me on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, my SoundCloud. It's all the same. My name, Kallee Brookes, KALLEEBROOKES. It's the same everywhere. Just Google it. It'll pop up.
She said, Google it.
Google me, bitch.
Google her name. Google me.
Can I cuss on here?
You can. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's straight up. So, I mean, you can cut. Yeah, be yourself. That's how we like it. So, but no, that is Kallee Brookes. Thank you once again so much for coming on the Straight Up Show podcast, Music Monday. It's been a great ride and great talking to you.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you so much.
And before you leave, you're going to give us a little something, right?
Yes, I'm going to give you my new single. It's a little sneak peek. Fire.
All right, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let me introduce to you Kallee Brookes.
You're driving me crazy. I'm wasted in love with you. You're driving me crazy with no hesitation. I'm wasted in love with you. Our chapters and pages keep burning in flames in a tub in a hotel room. Do you get high on me? Will you ride for me? Shed light on me? Yeah, I hope that you do. Rely on it's true. And if your world's on fire, I ain't leaving with no hesitation. And if your world's on fire, I ain't leaving with no hesitation. I'm burning in flames with you. And if your world's on fire, and if your world's on fire, and if your world's on smoke flames, I'm lost in them. Third degree burns, not cosmetic. You knew I was a steal, and you were looking for the real, and I was authentic, all in it. Poker chips, you let me lead the way like hostesses. You prescribe all my dosages, I get high off you, but do you get high on me? Will you ride for me? Shed light on me, yeah, hope that you do. Rely on me, just lie on me. Confide in me, yeah, hope that it's true. And if your world's on fire, I ain't leaving with no hesitation. And if your world's on fire,